Ever pondered how the thawing of permafrost in Alaska could stir up your daily life? Well, hold that thought because it absolutely can. Let's take a journey up north, where Alaska is experiencing rapid warming due to our friend climate change. This warming is doing a number on the permafrost, causing it to thaw. Now you might be thinking, so what, a bit of melting ice, big deal. But here's the kicker, this isn't just any old frozen water. Permafrost is like nature's freezer, packed full of carbon. When it thaws, this carbon gets released into the atmosphere, and that's where things start to get interesting. Imagine your freezer at home, you've got all sorts of goodies stashed away in there, right? Now picture the power going out, the ice cream starts to melt, the frozen peas begin to thaw, and before you know it, you've got a real mess on your hands. That's pretty much what's happening with the permafrost, except instead of a puddle of melted mint chocolate chip, we're dealing with a whole lot of carbon. But it's not just about the carbon. This thawing process is also affecting food webs and the species they support. Think of the food web as a complex network of lunch dates. The Arctic wolf spider, for instance, might snack on a masked shrew, who earlier had a meal of tundra voles, who feast on a buffet of plant-based goodies. But with the permafrost thawing, there's a shift in the menu. Instead of plant-based grub, these critters are now getting their energy from fungi thanks to increased decomposition in permafrost and boreal forests. So, the freezer's busted and the ice cream's melting, but how's that affecting your sandwich? Imagine turning your diet upside down overnight. That's exactly what's happening to some Alaskan critters. Let's dive into an intriguing study that's been conducted by the USDA Forest Service and several universities. These clever folks have come up with a novel technique to understand the effects of climate change on energy flow and carbon fluxes in Arctic and boreal ecosystems. How, you ask? By analyzing bone collagen from museum specimens of tundra voles, red-backed voles, masked shrews, and Arctic wolf spiders to track the movement of carbon between different food webs. It's like playing detective, but with ancient bones and carbon. What they found was a significant shift in the diet of these creatures. Think of it as swapping your daily salad for a fungi feast. Yes, you heard that right. These animals, under the warming conditions, are moving from plant-based to fungal-based food webs as their main energy source. Why is this happening? Well, it's all down to the thawing of permafrost and the release of carbon into the atmosphere. This decomposition process is leading to increased decomposition in permafrost and boreal forests, with fungi becoming the main source of energy for above-ground consumers. It's a bit like if all the grocery stores suddenly started stocking only mushrooms, and you had to adapt your diet accordingly. This is not just a curious case of dietary switcheroo. It's a powerful example of how climate change is restructuring food webs, altering the way energy and nutrients are cycled through ecosystems. It's a reminder that every critter, from the humble vole to the mighty wolf spider, plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of our planet. Who knew that a warming world could turn voles and spiders into mushroom enthusiasts, right? But remember, this isn't just about voles and spiders. It's about an ecosystem in flux, a world in transition. And it's a story that's unfolding right now, in the frosty expanses of Alaska and beyond. But what does a vole's diet have to do with your daily commute or your next vacation? Quite a bit, as it turns out. You see, this shift in the food web from plant-based to fungi-based is more than just a dietary change for our furry friends. It's a ripple effect that can reach us in unexpected ways. Let's think of it like this. Imagine the carbon cycle as a game of hot potato. Carbon gets passed around from plants to animals to soil and even to the air we breathe. But now, with permafrost thawing and fungi becoming the main course, this game is getting a bit out of hand. The carbon being released into the atmosphere is like an overzealous player throwing the potato too hard. It's disrupting the flow of the game, causing the carbon cycle to become unstable. And when the carbon cycle gets thrown off balance, it can affect everything from our food prices to our weather patterns. Think of it this way. More carbon in the atmosphere can lead to warmer temperatures, which can affect crop yields. And if crop yields are affected, that could mean higher prices at the grocery store. You might have to rethink that organic avocado toast habit of yours. And as for weather patterns, well, let's just say you might want to invest in a good umbrella. Warmer temperatures can lead to more intense weather events like storms and hurricanes. So, that sunny beach vacation you've been planning might want to pack a raincoat just in case. But don't let all this talk of carbon cycles and weather patterns bring you down. Remember, we're all part of this great big ecosystem, and just like the voles and the fungi, we too have a role to play. So the next time you're stuck in traffic or your picnic gets rained out, remember the Alaskan voles and their mushroom munchies. Alright, so we've got melting permafrost, carbon emissions, and mushroom-loving voles, but what can you do about it? Well, here's the thing, every one of us has the power to make a difference. Yes, you heard it right, each one of us. It's all about the small changes we make in our lives that can help mitigate climate change. It's not about moving mountains, but about taking one step at a time. Let's start with something simple. Think about how you get around. Could you walk, cycle, or take public transport instead of driving? Swapping your car for a bike or your feet isn't just good for your health, it's great for the planet too. Fewer cars mean fewer emissions, and that's a win-win situation. Next, let's talk about food. Did you know that reducing meat and dairy consumption can significantly lower your carbon footprint? It's all about balance. Try incorporating more plant-based meals into your diet. You might be surprised at how delicious and satisfying they can be. And what about energy use at home? Turning off lights when you leave a room, unplugging electronics when they're not in use, and using energy-efficient appliances can all make a big difference. It might sound like small beans, but when you multiply those actions by millions of people, that's a whole lot of energy saved. Don't forget about waste. Recycling is a start, but what about reducing and reusing? Before you toss something in the trash, think about whether it could have a second life. Could that jar be a new vase? Could those old clothes be turned into rags for cleaning? The possibilities are endless. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every little bit helps. It's the collective power of our actions that can help slow the thaw, protect our voles, and keep our planet healthy. It's easy to feel small in the face of big problems, but never underestimate the power of one. So there you have it, folks, saving the world, one eco-friendly action at a time. Before we wrap up, let's chill for a moment and recap. We've been on quite a journey, haven't we? From the frosty plains of Alaska, where the permafrost is thawing at an alarming rate due to climate change, to the intricate workings of Arctic and boreal food webs, where a microbial awakening is causing a seismic shift in the way energy flows and carbon is cycled. We've seen how this isn't just a problem for voles, shrews, and wolf spiders, it's a problem for us all. The shift from plant-based to fungal-based food webs, driven by increased decomposition, is changing the balance of our ecosystems. These alterations can ripple out, impacting the food we eat, the air we breathe, and the future of our planet. But it's not all doom and gloom, folks. We've also explored how we can make a difference, how through our daily choices, we can help mitigate these changes. We've talked about living eco-friendly lives, about reducing our carbon footprint, about making sustainable choices. It's about understanding that every action, no matter how small, can have a significant impact. It's about realizing that when we work together, we can make a real difference. It's about stepping up, taking responsibility, and doing our part to ensure a healthy and sustainable future for our planet. And remember, it's not just about us. It's about the tundra voles, the red-backed voles, the mass shrews, and the Arctic wolf spiders. It's about all the incredible creatures that call our planet home. It's about ensuring that they too have a future. So the next time you're enjoying a chilly treat, spare a thought for our frosty friends in Alaska. Because remember, every action counts in the fight against climate change. Stay cool, everyone! So we've taken you on a journey from the frozen lands of Alaska to your own backyard. But here's a question for you. What changes will you make in your life to help slow down climate change? We've seen how the smallest actions can have the biggest impacts, and the power to help is in your hands. Are you ready to take up the challenge? Will you reduce, reuse, recycle more? Maybe you'll plant a tree or choose to bike instead of drive on your next trip. Or perhaps you'll decide to explore more plant-based meals. Whatever it is, we want to hear about it. Share your thoughts, your plans, your pledges in the comments below. We're in this together, and together, we can make a difference. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos for more fascinating insights into our world. Because remember, knowledge is power, and with power comes responsibility. So let's use it wisely. Stay curious, everyone.